Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kier Gaines, and today we will be discussing the topic of the impact of grief or loss, particularly when it comes to our young people who may have a parent who is either deployed or who may have actually lost a parent in duty. Before we even start, I want everyone to just take a second, and I want you to think back to your teenage years. I want you to think back to your teenage years where you felt as if the world did not understand you. Your parents didn't understand you. And not only were you not understood and yearning to be understood, you thought you knew everything under the sun. Youth development works on two basic principles. Number one, it works on sincerity. Because this young person has a problem right now where they're feeling alone and they're feeling abandoned. And as professionals, it is our duty to figure out not only why do you feel that way, how did you get to that place, but it is our duty to figure out how do I bring you back to mental self-sufficiency, to a point where you can function normally when your education and your behavior and your overall mental health is not affected. But you're a kid, you're not worried about all of that. It is my duty to be sincere. I take my job very seriously. And I understand loss. When I was 18 years old, I lost my mother tragically and suddenly in the middle of the night. It's not the same, but there is a level of relatability there. We have a common denominator. So let's start on that common ground. You have to be sincere. Number two, you have to follow that sincerity with a solution-based plan of action. It has to be either a multi-step process that gets that kid back to where they were before. It's identifying the problem. It's gaining the trust, getting the buy-in. And then it's trying to find an amicable solution. It's not me coming from an authoritative standpoint and saying, look, I understand where you are, but I'm an adult. I understand where you need to be, and this is how we're going to do it. No kid is ever going to listen to that. Authoritative standpoints don't work on all youth. It's giving them an option. It's as a professional knowing the steps to bring them to fruition and making them feel as though they have an option. Okay, so I see the problem and I understand, and I'm so sorry that happened. But I'm here for you. So this is what we're going to do. You have three choices. We could do this to achieve this outcome. We could do this to achieve this outcome. Or we can do this to get to this goal. What works for you? Come on, we're a team. Let's do this together. How are we going to do this? How are we going to make this happen? Because grief affects the academic side of this youth's life. This kid now is not doing as well in school. They're starting to they maybe start bullying other kids because this anger and this hurt manifests itself in that way. So again, as professionals, it is our duty to grab this kid and mitigate these behaviors, identifying them at the source and working with this kid strategically to bring them back. Now, when I say bringing them back, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to solve all their problems. But what I do is I create a culture and I create an environment of caring and an environment of understanding. That is very, very simple. It may seem very, very cliche, if you will, but it is very effective because everyone wants to be understood. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the problem areas. It's your school. What frustrates you about school? What makes you angry? What makes you lash out? Then it's making sure that kid is self-aware. Well, I understand, Billy, I understand that you lashed out at Billy, but it's not his fault. See, you and I are having this conversation right now, and I understand. Your mom's gone, but she'll be back one day, but she's gone right now, and it hurts. And I'm sorry it hurts. But we still have to do well in school. The key term is we, because it makes us a team. It doesn't make them feel like they're alone. So what are we going to do? Well, I guess I could start, and that's when they start bringing themselves to their own solutions. I have my own set of solutions. And then they have theirs, and we find a way to make it merge in the middle. I believe that we have to treat youths as individuals. If we approach every youth's individual situation the same way, if we generalize these solutions, we will never get good outcomes. Behavioral problems and emotional problems sometimes are a little too deep for just a very topical surface level one-on-one session. I believe that writing referrals to see mental health counselors is an amazing idea. But what this is a group session. And it's not only you, it's me, we're a team. But it's not only you and me who are a team, it's this guy and this kid and this kid. We're all together. We're in this together. Social media is a beautiful thing. And a lot of people really shun it because it doesn't allow people to interact personally. But what social media is brilliant at doing is creating a community. And if I have all of these youth that have all of these common denominators, if I can build a community where there's a level of support, and then we do fun team building activities, and you have this group facilitator who actually cares, who's going to stay on you because I genuinely care about you, I really, truly, and honestly believe that we could fix some of these behaviors. And then the academics will start to improve because the kid knows that they have support. No, I'm not your parent at all, but I am a guy who cares about you, kid. Absolutely. Tremendously. The emotional side, the fits of rage, the lashing out, the constant need for attention starts to die down after a while. And the behavior improves. And now we have a youth that's functional again, that's happy again, that's ready to participate. I really think that's the goal, and that's what we're very good at here. Again, my name is Kier Gaines. Thank you for listening. Nice.